mindful of joining me, and he didn't hesitate. So here we are this morning, but I'll let Dr. Eton tell you something about himself before I begin this interview. Dr. Eton, are you Trinidadian?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I am a resident of Trinidad and Tobago, but no, I'm not Trinidadian, not yet.
All right, all right. But no, this is the best ways. You know that, right? You know that this is the best way.
Yeah, it is.
By now, you would have figured that out. You have been all over the world. I know where you started your matriculation as far as higher education is concerned.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. Like I said, I'm from Nigeria,
Mm.
but I did my first degree up to my terminal degrees in India. I did, you may be interested to know that I did Bachelor's of Commerce, Master's of Commerce, Master's in Sociology, Master's in Economics, and PhD in Economics, and all in India. So I spent a lot of my time, my formative years in India. I am not hearing you.
I recognize I was muted a while ago. Because this is a kind of busy morning for me. I'm taking calls and everything. I don't know why it is. I don't know if this story is not to be told, but I see the young ladies who usually ask the question, they are not here. Thank God. The guys in Brooklyn have me on live and alive, but I am not seeing the people supposed to support me. Our devotion lady, she's not here either. So it's worrying to me. So I will start by saying, is what's your daughter's name again? Emma?
Yeah, her name is Eton.
Emma. Emma, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you here. Nice to see you here this morning. Is this the first time you're doing an interview like this, Emma?
No, it's not the first time.
Not the first time. So you're brave.
Yeah.
You have to be very brave to be at the age of 10 and want to do CSEC. You have to be very brave. In some places, they will say you're crazy. But Emma, what caused you to want to do uh, CSEC?
I wanted to try something new and push the limits.
But trying something new for me, trying something new might be something like playing basketball, playing going swimming, but something new for you is sitting in an exam room with questions that 15-year-old and 16-year-old are doing. Dr. Eaton, what do you think is driving her?
That's an interesting question, a loaded question.
Mhm.
Amy, from her very early childhood, from infancy, she's always been a driven child. She's always been very driven, ambitious, and I could see that she always had wanted to do something different. And I think my persona affected her development to quite some extent because I am an avid international news listener and maybe political commentator. I listen
Mhm.
to international news and developments, both political and economics. And of course, she's always by me, and she developed interest in what is happening around. And of course, not all the good news about Trinidad is always good news because there's been a lot of not so good news coming out of Trinidad, and she gets concerned. And at some point, she said, "Daddy, what can I do to change the narrative?" And I was
Mhm.
surprised, like, what is the child going to do to change the narrative?
Mhm.
I said, "Well, we have to do the right thing in our own corner every time." And then she said, "Then I'm going to study very hard and become an astronaut."
Very good.
and
Very good.
I went to make my country, Trinidad and Tobago, proud. And I was astonished,
Mhm.
like I've said in some other place. And this was when she was 5 years old.
Wow.
And
Wow.
to say, I've never, when I was 5 years old at that age, I never knew that word astronaut. So when my daughter
I hear
way
you.
back then said she wanted to be an astronaut, I
Mm-hmm.
just thought it was a child talk, dreaming, and I gave her the room to dream on because, some dream may live on, some may not. I said, okay, at least let me give
Mm-hmm.
her the liberty to dream on. But 10 years later, she still has that dream and got interested in doing what she just did because, again, she's always with me in the university environment. She sees students preparing, studying, and she got curious if she could do uh, what others are doing, even though she's still in primary school, standard 4 at the time. I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, there's nothing wrong. Ride ride the wave, and let the rest be in God's control. So you do whatever. So, because my philosophy is not to restrain my children, give them the liberty to explore what they can do.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you are saying that your input, because I want those who listen to me, because I don't think I might be the only child who can do this. But to get from point A to point B, it must be a parental input. Is that what you are saying?
Exactly. The parents have a huge responsibility. We have to remember
Mm-hmm.
parents are the first teachers of their children. And
Okay.
what they model is what the child will play out. And what the parents model, which the child will play out, is what will shape our society eventually. So it is very crucially important for parents to model the right thing to the formative children because at a very early age, they are very, it's formative years for them. Whatever they see, they're very impressionable.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're put on the right path, shown the right thing to do, then we in fact will give God less work to do because
Yes.
we don't bring children upright, and when they do the wrong thing, then we say let's pray. We
Mm.
could actually do a lot of the right thing which God has told us to do in the Bible by bringing up our children right so that they become better citizens in our society and countries rather than leave them to do whatever everybody else is doing. And we know who is the ruler of this world.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
if we do not deliberately, as parents and guardians, direct our children and our world to do the right thing,
Mm.
they, if they don't listen to this, they will listen to that. So
Yeah.
it's very crucially important for parents to be the first teachers before the children actually go to primary school or preschool and so on. We may be quick to blame teachers, they're not teaching right, but we have to be the ones that teach the children, the first teachers before the teachers in the school. So at my end, therefore, and my advice is let parents take that absolute deliberate responsibility to channel the minds of the children towards doing the right thing and, of course, giving them the liberty to be children.
At what point in time you recognize that Emma had something special about her?
Well, that is not too far off. Like I said a little earlier, she
Mm.
has always been curious, trying to do things differently. And like I said, I don't control. I just let her do whatever she wants, so long as it's within reason. So I kept observing, and I noticed that she's a little different because much as she plays like other children, she also has been very, very interested in reading.
Oh.
She reads a lot, She reads a lot of books, and she involves in other activities like playing chess. She plays the chess, and I noticed, well, she
Mhm.
may be up to something. And like I said, when we go to the university, she observes the grown-ups, those we have in the University of the Southern Caribbean, studying hard. And then there's this Whelan, you may know him, who
Mhm.
coaches students every now and then for CSEC exam. And I used to sit with Whelan because I kind of advise Whelan on his academic path, because I noticed that he needs some encouragement. So I often am with him, and most of the time my daughter is with me, and that happens at the university campus, mostly where he's teaching some students to do CSEC. So my daughter developed interest. I want to, can I do the same thing? I said, yeah, of course. Because like I said, I give her
Mhm.
that liberty. When it's about something constructive, I say, okay, yeah, sure, you can. So we used to go to the University of the Southern Caribbean mostly on Sundays. Because of course she has
Mhm.
her school work to do.
Mhm.
Saturday we go to church. So Sunday was the only time that we would have. So we would go there and start practicing, learning about Spanish and history. And then eventually she said maybe she could try the exam also. We said, but you see, this is way beyond your age. But if you want to give it a try, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in trying to do the right thing. So it's
Mhm.
always good to try to do the right thing. If you try to do the right thing and you fail, well, it's good you had the courage to try,
Mhm.
than say don't do it at all because it's not your age. There's no age limit to doing the right thing.
Emily,
So I gave her that liberty, and
yeah.
so we started getting more involved in the studies until eventually the exam drew near. And to tell you the fact, I really was not aware that these exams, the history that she did and the Spanish, that there were three sections to the paper done on separate days.
Hmm.
I thought it was one paper Spanish, one paper history. But when the exam timetable came out, it became an opener even for me, because I discovered that she had to do three separate papers for Spanish and three separate papers for history. So and then seeing that intensity, she became more seriously involved in studying.
Hmm. Emily, I get your face look familiar to me. Do you know me?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. You are wrong with John's daughter and the um Pastor Terry John.
Terry, not really, not really.
Not
But
really.
in fact, when you came online, she told me, yeah, that
She knows me.
she knows the face in USC. I said, yeah.
I mean, I listen to your father talk. He could say what he wants, but I am still intrigued by you wanting. What make you feel that you could do it?
I studied hard and I quit playing to try doing something new and to push the limits.
You are doing this while doing your other schoolwork,
Yes,
and it is not difficult.
it is kind of difficult.
I want to say those who are contacting me, you can ask your questions, and I relate to the good doctor and his daughter. Okay, so you felt that you could do it,
Yes, I could.
and since you did it, how do you feel? You feel that you are successful, or you just feel that you just had an experience?
I feel very successful.
What? I oh, your teacher just calling to say he's looking on, or she's looking on. So you better say the things properly because your teacher is looking. Don't embarrass your teacher now. So, so you believe that you passed these subjects.
Yes, I do.
You finished the papers without wanting more time, or everything was perfect, and when you finish it, you felt satisfied
When I finished off, I was feeling satisfied.
that you did well.
Yes.
But as your daddy say, and I will tell you this now, pass or fail, what you have done is exceedingly great. I want you to know that. Don't let the result determine what has happened. What you have done is totally, it blew my mind that I have you only here for a whole hour this morning, because what you have done, your teacher say you are a very intelligent child. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
I thought, oh, I thought you were saying, I don't know. Okay. She, Dr. Eaton, she's always this forthright in speaking.
Yeah, well, she's mostly first. I'm amazed that, in fact, this is another part. Before, she used to be quite introverted and reserved. So one of the lessons that we've learned, that I have learned, which I think others may learn by this, is that from being a very quiet, I'm sure, even though you've seen her, I'm sure you've never heard her voice. She's always been very quiet. But when we got into this process of actually preparing for this CSEC exam, she became more involved, more expressive, more eloquent than before. So I think the experience, like you rightly said, whatever the outcome, the experience has emboldened her, given her the courage and the belief in herself and the understanding that there's nothing wrong in trying. So she's, as you've heard her, she's become more confident than she used to be. I can tell you, she never used to be so confident until now. But this experience that we went through, I have noticed it, that she's become more confident in herself. And that is a great thing. That's a great thing.
All right. The teacher said, I have told her that we are going to make a difference in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, the world. She never liked to give up. She said, I'm so proud of you. So she told you that.
Yeah.
Oh, and you believe that.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I will tell you, as I said in my devotion, I didn't have noticed. I said one voice can change a system, can change an institution. Never tell yourself, well, I'm the only one is saying that. Sometimes you change it after you are gone. Somebody quote and say, no, that young lady, M.A. Eton, she had done this or she had said this. I'm certain some parents who are home now listening will recognize that their children can go that way. So what about television? Do you look at a lot of television?
Can you repeat what you said?
Do you look at a lot of television,
Sometimes.
but you don't like it?
I like it.
You like it? So where you find time for primary school work, secondary school work, television, play, where you find that time to do all of that?
I balance it. Sometimes I do one thing, sometimes I do another thing.
What about the shouting from the daddy? That's in the mix too? Come girl, behave yourself. Come on. That
Yeah,
comes with it, with the territory?
yeah,
I guess she's feeling shy to say that her father shouts on her.
I guess
But
so. I
yeah,
guess so. I could
she's
cut him
feeling
off
shy
that he
to
wouldn't
say
hear
her
that.
father shouts on her because I do. I do, because discipline is part of
Mhm.
raising up a child. So, like I said earlier, I give her the liberty to play. In fact, I tell her, don't forget to be a child. You have to play. Work, play. Involve yourself in extracurricular activities, but be organized. Plan your time. Like I said a little earlier, it's never too early to do the right thing. So you have to start managing time. One of the resources that we think we have in abundance is time. But the fact is that we don't have time in abundance. Once the time goes, it goes. It never come back. So you have to use every time that you have to do the right thing. Like I said a little earlier, it's never too.
So this organization of time that you're speaking about, where I wonder where you lean with this, because I know parents might be listening to you. As a father, Dr. Eton, where do you have the emphasis? I want to say something that may shock some fathers out there and shock some mothers. Nowhere in the Bible, the mother was given responsibility to raise the children. Nowhere. That's not Bible. I mean, that's part of all the problem we have in this society. In the Bible, the father was always given the responsibility to raise the children. And I have discovered, I told you, I read a lot of classical sociology. I see myself immersed in sociology in a way that I'm living sociology. And I found I've never seen any incident in the Bible where the woman was given responsibility. And I've seen in this life, most of the problem we are having with children has to do with mother's responsibility for that child. The research shows also that fathers, single parent fathers, do a better job. That's a slightly better, a greatly and largely better job than single mothers. And they are grappling to find out why. And then as a Christian, born Christian, I go back to where I'm safe. And where I'm safe is the Bible. And while the Bible didn't explain it, the Bible continues to talk about the father from Abraham. God said, I know Abraham, that he will lead. Yeah, he didn't say I know Abraham and his wife. When David was going to fight the giant, Saul asks Abner, he says, whose son is this? When he came back with the giant's head, Saul asked him again, whose son are you? The failure in the community is that we have placed that role on the mother. When we go, and I want to speak about the African community and I want to speak about other communities. In most other communities, where the mother plays a strategic role, but the fathers are very involved. You understand what I'm saying, Doc?
Yes.
The fathers are very involved in the Syrian community, in the Indian community, in the Chinese community. The fathers are heavily involved in the reign of that child. When it comes to the Afro community, the mothers are the ones who are given the role. Now, there are some great mothers out there. I'm not here to knock women, but I'm saying it could be part and parcel of the failure of African people across the diaspora and on the continent also. But I don't know. You should tell me what happens in Nigeria as far as the children are concerned. Is it a mother's role or is it a father's role? How it is that?
Pastor, that's a rather very big question. Like I said, even though I'm a resident in Trinidad and Tobago and I've been here 15 years, I haven't been home so often. And but I can tell you, and like I said a little earlier, I left Nigeria very early to India, where I did all my studies, and I've been all around. But yes, I can tell you, the social and societal differences between the mother continent and this part of the world, which we find ourselves with our mixed blessed mixed race.
Mhm.
And in Nigeria, Nigeria is a vast country, multicultural, multi-tribal, and the practices are different. But very crucially, even though now the so-called westernization and globalization is creeping in, it used to be a shameful thing to divorce. Cultural, multi-tribal. It used to be a shameful thing to divorce. But now, divorce is a common thing. I'm saying that to say raising up a child used to be between the mother and the father. And you may have heard the African adage that it takes a village to raise the child. That's an African adage. So it used to be the collaborative responsibility of the mother and the father, and in fact, the village. But with the modern society and with the creeping in of the acceptance of separations and divorce for every and any reason, the responsibility now shifts to either one parent, mother, or father,
Grandparents, yeah.
or grandparent for that
Yeah.
matter.
Mhm.
So, and that explains why we're having these challenges, because there is a dichotomy. There's a breakdown of what used to be the practice and acceptable norm in raising up children. So single parenthood, even though it's starting to appear in Nigeria and maybe other parts of Africa, was not very common.
Mhm.
And it is in fact, that was one of the my culture shock that I got here, because it's very common here. Like I said, I grew up in India. Single parenthood is not common. I think you've had the privilege of traveling to
Yeah,
Asia, to
yeah,
India.
yeah,
You see, single parenthood is not common. It is common in Western societies, which include our Trinidad and Tobago.
yeah.
And now that's the responsibility to microanalyze it again. The single parent, who is more responsible as you try to analyze? Is it the mother or the father? Well, some men have been very good in raising good children, though they don't get the credit for it.
Yes, yes.
When the child is good, the thing is the mother,
Mhm.
not knocking on the mother or knocking down the mothers, because there are some very good single mothers. But the what we should focus on actually is, should we be grooming societies with single parents? That's the larger question. Should we be normalizing the culture of single parenthood, or is
Mm.
there any intervention that can cause us to retrace the back to what we as Christians have understood family to be, mother and father, and the society being responsible in raising up responsible children? Or have we come to the point where we glorify and accept single parenthood as the norm that should be glorified?
I answer your question. I have a question for Amli, but I want to answer that question that you're asking. And it is profound. And then I heard you saying that your masters were in sociology, and it have triggered into what you're saying now. You see, when things go bad, they call the psychologist, they call the pastor, they never call the sociologist. You must check that out. They never
No, they
do.
don't.
And the one who have a better understanding how the society functions, I see it in my church. I see fellas dealing with big sociology issue, and they will call an educator or a pastor. They will never call a sociologist. So the church is getting it wrong, and the world is getting it wrong
Getting it
also.
wrong. You're right.
Yeah, so it's because how they approach it. Now, I'm the who's your history and Spanish teacher? Someone want to know. Someone asked the question here on the line.
My history and Spanish teacher is Willan Ivanus.
Willan what?
Willan Ivanus.
Brian Ivan Nurse. I think the person that said that, Brian Ivan Nurse. I can rock it. We always yes. So the person who sent that question is Brian Ivan Nurse. If you say you always talk to him, get in touch with him, because this person have a missionary project at USC that is called Community Language Services, and the motto is making the impossible possible. For all things with God are possible. So Brian is getting some kudos here. He spoke earlier on, but he's getting some kudos here. What sort of teacher you think he is? And I want you to make a comparison without names. Your teachers at the primary school, how would you compare them to Willan? I mean, I want to narrate because I don't want to get you in trouble. You said to go back to school. In encouraging you to do better, how would you say the difference is in how he encourages you and how they encourages you? Encourage you, sorry.
Well, he encourages me more.
Encourage you more.
Yeah.
Okay. What he does exactly that you feel more motivated to do, to be go on, to be the best you can be. What he does exactly to make you feel that way.
He encourages me and tells me to not give up, and that makes me feel more motivated.
Okay, okay. Even when you cannot do it, you feel you could do it because he makes you feel that you can do it. And teachers, and I'm saying this to all listening to me, to be better than your better self at the end of this all, because here sitting in front of us, I know she will do well, is what I would normally call a wonder kid. When I was 10 years, no way you could have come telling me anything but what used to call it those days? Yeah, I mean for the CX, not CXC, I was before that. But it was the same sort of thing. No way you could have bring that to me. I am 10 years old. I still want to play football and cricket and run up and down the place and climb tree and pick mangoes and I just moving at my own pace, at my own pace. And it never occurred to me that I can move to the. In fact, it never occurred to me that I can go to a university. And that happened by chance. I was in the library and I ran into this young lady who at that time I was big. I was an apprentice, Tech, and I was a big man. And I ran into this young lady in the library in Knox Street in Port of Spain. And when we started to talk, there was no cell phone in those days, so you had to go home to meet the person. And when I went home by her, she was going to UE. I was going to John Donaldson Technical Institute. And as I began to chat with her on her work and her studies, I recognized, wait, now she's going to UE and I'm going to John D. But I'm brighter than her. I picked that up. I am more furnished. So then I asked her, well, how do I get there? How do I get to do that? And she said, you need to get A levels. Well, how do I do that? So I talked to Dr. Fulin and he said, you know, you don't need A levels. You can come, or you can, if you want to advance yourself, did the American exam. But I wanted to be there as how she was there, Dr. Eton. So I
Mhm.
went to our secondary and did economics, sociology, and literature. At that point, it's only at that point, and I was about 19, 20, it began to dawn on me that I can do higher learning, higher than what I was doing. So for this young girl at 10 years to be thinking about CSEC, it was like me thinking about university at the age of 19, 20. It would not have entered my mind. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I get you.
yeah. So I am totally amazed. And it's only when you begin to study, you recognize the higher you go, the easier it gets.
True.
Yeah, as you get to, as you study, you recognize, oh, wait now. The higher you go, once you get out of A levels, everything else become easier, from bachelor's to master's to PhD. Everything else become easier as you go. But you will not know that until you try. Now,
Until you try.
if at 10 years, she is doing CSEC, I can't imagine what will happen in the next 10 years. I can't imagine. Doc, we have a wonder kid on our hands because I have someone who are PhD or 21, 22. It happens across the world and
It does.
Japan and these places. Yeah. So we could have something. What do you ultimately want to be? If your dad say you said astronaut, what do you ultimately all right? Let's say your second choice. If not astronaut, what? Housewife? What?
A doctor.
What kind of doctor? Like dad or a doctor?
What is it?
What kind of doctor? Like dad or a medical doctor?
Medical.
Okay. I feel you are doing essay also.
Yeah, I will do it.
Are you doing essay?
I'll do it next
Yeah.
year.
Because I feel you're gonna make next year. I feel you're gonna make us so proud, quote unquote. I feel you're gonna make us so proud. I am so happy. It's a pleasure. Your dad will tell you that when I called him how I felt. I thought everything was over already, but I was annoyed by such a young person doing such a thing. And when I sold it to the young ladies who supposed to be on the business mind, I don't know what happened. And they also were very, very happy to present such a one. So I want to say to you, you seem you have this shy face on. There's nothing to be shy about. There's nothing. You just keep doing nobody tell you, you're boastful. No, 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 no. The more you say things to yourself, the more you believe that you can do it. And more times it happens. If you so doubt, those doubts will grow. Those doubts will become reality to you. And if you sow negatives, those negatives will also grow. So what you are doing now, I should be proud of your dad. And for those who are listening to me, I want to say this. There's not every day I get a chance to say this, but the fathers must be involved in the lives of the children as far as education is concerned if you want a successful child. The
True.
blueprint is your Bible. When God came, he read, he said, Adam, where are you? God didn't ask for Eve, you know. He knew what had happened. He knew who had picked the fruit. He knew how Adam came to eat the fruit. But you know what? He said, Adam, where are you? Adam said, well, I was naked. He said, how did you know that? Because sin entered the picture. But Adam was responsible. The Bible said, because Adam sinned, we are facing the tragedy and the pain because Adam sinned, the Bible said. When I read in my Bible says that Eve sinned and she gave it to Adam and then he sinned. But the Bible never mentioned Eve in the sinning process, you know. When Adam said, this woman that you gave me, then he turned to the woman, you know. So men ought to lead their family, especially in the way of education. The teacher say, always say to him, it's hard, you know, but I wouldn't quit. You do that?
Yeah.
Why you wouldn't quit if it's hard? Quitting seems to be the easier way out. Why
No,
you wouldn't quit?
I rather do it and fail than quit.
I hear you. Very, very good. What is the role that the God is playing in all this?
What is it?
What's the role that God is playing in all this?
He keeps encouraging me not to give up.
How he does that? You go to church at all?
Yes, I do.
You like church?
Yes.
You like Jesus?
Yes, I do.
You know if he's in your life or not?
Yes.
He is. Yeah.
Yes.
You're on the money. So I'm gonna ask you a hard one. So if daddy say you're not going back to church, what would you do? You would say, I will stay home with daddy. Because daddy say anywhere he is, you are. Or you will try to force him to go.
Yeah.
You force him to go?
Hmm.
Okay. Yes, she's Trinidadian. She born in Trinidad. Somebody, I answered that question. Somebody asking if you're Nigerian too. No,
Really.
she was born in Trinidad too. This is a Trinidadian child. This is a Trinidadian child who next year is going to make us very proud, make the community very proud. This is a Seventh-day Adventist child. For those who are listening to me and you are not Seventh-day Adventists. And this is a child who says that she loves the Lord. She's a normal child. Daddy says she goes out and she prays as a normal child. Okay?
Okay.
Daddy is saying that. Okay. So Dad, I guess you are proud.
Yes, I unconditionally I am very proud. Proud of the courage that she has demonstrated, and proud of her the example she has set, which other families of her been equally encouraged and motivated. I know many have reached out to ask questions to see how they can get their children to invest their time doing something constructive as this to challenge their children to challenge themselves. So yes,
Mhm.
I am proud, but uh, like I said, it is not so much the outcome. Of course, the outcome will be another cherry on the
Mhm. Yeah, 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 I
but the
agree
very
too.
fact that she
She
challenged
tried.
herself,
Yes.
the very fact that she decided to sacrifice playtime for study time, that is a very encouraging development for me. Because if she had said she doesn't want to do it, there's not I couldn't have done anything about it. But you heard even her said, even though it's hard, I'm going to do it. And let me digress a little bit.
Mm.
Trinidad and Tobago is a very blessed country.
Mm.
Trinidad and Tobago is a very rich country. But, I put that but, there's a lot we can do to be even better.
Mm.
Some of you may know Trinidad and Tobago is 7 times larger than Singapore.
Mm.
And Trinidad and Tobago has a lot more resources than Singapore. Using Singapore as an example,
Mhm.
if you look at the real GDP per capita of Singapore, you cannot compare. Singapore's GDP per capita of Singapore is around $78,000. Trinidad and Tobago is around 17,000. Trinidad and Tobago has resources Singapore doesn't. Trinidad and Tobago is 7 times larger, like I said, and Trinidad and Tobago is a 1.3, 1.4, at most 1.5 million. Singapore has almost 7 million population in a land size smaller 7 times than Trinidad and Tobago. I'm saying this to say we are so very blessed. There's
Mhm.
a lot we can do, and we have to look at those things that we can do rather than doing what we are doing now, being aggressive. And you see the record. Trinidad and Tobago ranks among the 10th uh, countries in the world in terms of murder. That's not the record we want to show. In fact, I didn't say that. That's one of the things when my daughter hears that news, she says, I want to make Trinidad and Tobago proud. I want to change the narrative. We are so beautiful. We are so endowed. We are so rich. Beauty and violence don't go together. Can we
Mhm.
please stop it?
Mhm.
God
I
has so
hear,
blessed this country.
yeah, I hear
So,
you, Doc.
so we can do a lot more caring for each other, encouraging each other, and uplifting each other. In fact, when my daughter attempted the exam, I didn't post it. I've never posted anything on Facebook about what she did. But over time, I go to read people's comments and I feel even more encouraged. Talk about being proud. I felt the pride in me that there's so many kind people who are wishing my daughter well, encouraging her for what she has done and encouraging other. So I felt very happy. In fact, my happiness is not only what she has done, but what other people have expressed. Thousands and thousands of people expressed support and prayed for her. And that told me, that informed me that there's still a lot of good in this country.
Yeah.
And we can, and we must do better. Like I said, we are so beautiful and so blessed. Violence and beauty don't go together. Let's stop it.
Doc, I mean, we are thankful for having you around this morning. It was great. I want to put a thing up for Singapore though. Why I agree with all that you say, there one thing that we are missing that Singapore has is one people, one religion. And things are easier to put together. And there's a dictatorship also. But I agree with you. We can align ourselves with some of the positives and become a much better country. The reason why so many folks are applauding your daughter is because we are in search of a hero.
Exactly.
We are in search of a hero. And she has all the signs that say to us, this is going to be a proud moment. And I want to thank her again. I want to thank you tremendously because she would not have been who she is without your input. You may want to minimize it, but no, sir. It's because of you she is who she is. And I pray that God will bless you both, that the joy of the Lord will continue to be upon you. And when time be no more, and meet each other again, we can talk about these times in a great way. For those who are listening on VOP radio, continue after the program comes to an end. There's some fantastic music in store for you. Continue if you're on the YouTube, I want you to go to voptv.org, log in there, and then you'll find some fantastic music. Those who are on VOP right now, continue listening, and may the good Lord continue to be with you all. At this time, you're going to sign off. Once I come off of YouTube, everybody will sign off right now as we